grateful for the opportunity to talk today. We were winners of Best Small Business back in November, which was a huge honour, and it's a great thing to be able to share again some of the stories, just for those who come in, the stories that we have been able to demonstrate our growth over the last 3.5 years. I started my recruitment career back in the 90s, early 90s, and I absolutely loved my time recruiting for HR and executive HR roles across Australia and also in the UK. I think I was a bit of a recruitment anomaly back in the day because I never really chased the fee. You've all been dealing with recruiters who are just interested in the fee. I was interested in the culture fit. And my purpose was always around making a great hire for the business where there was a cultural alignment between the employee and the business. So I believe, and people tell me, that my superpower is connecting brilliant people. And in fact, 12 of my friends are now 6 very happy couples. Yeah. I've worked for our CEO for the last 7 years, and I celebrated my 3rd year anniversary with Pace last week. I feel a little bit nervous about saying this, but Perry swore, so I feel as though I'm allowed to say that I was once described as Pace's arsehole gatekeeper, the person who protected the business from those who weren't culturally aligned. In my role as head of people, I am proud to contribute to Pace's vision where we create customer environments that thrive. And in turn, it's my role as head of people to create an internal environment in which our people thrive. This isn't a mistake. If you can see, there's a picture of a fish tank on the main. Oh, you can see that. This image actually contributed to us winning a multi-year, incredibly exciting contract. And on the image, we feel that it demonstrates what we mean by creating an environment that thrives. So let me explain what you can see on the screen. Multi-complex species, which for the purpose of this discussion we can call pace setters, the collective noun given to those people that work at Pace, balanced pH levels, acidity in the water, finite temperature controls, and carefully regulated oxygen levels, stimulation and fun with a playground in the background. And if you've ever owned or looked after a tropical fish tank, then you know what's involved. You'll understand the message. It's all around feeding, measuring, monitoring, learning, adapting, and balancing. All techniques to ensure that our internal environment thrives. So let me give you a little bit of an insight into Pace. We focus on business process optimization, process automation, transformation, and data. So we work with global law firms through to private healthcare businesses, government organizations, and even an organization that manufactures ejection seats for aircraft. What really sets us apart is our outcome-only billing model. So we take the risk. We therefore need to make sure that we employ the best people who are delivery focused, because we don't actually invoice our customers until the work is complete and the statement of work has been signed off. So of course, as a consultancy, we are only as good as our people. We were founded back in October 2020. We've grown from 0 to 74 people in 3.5 years. In our 3rd year, we achieved 44% year-on-year growth. The average age of a pace setter is 45, and we're 42% female. We are all remote, although this is a little bit complicated in that our customers increasingly expect our consultants to be on site as and when required, and different customers expect different things. Some are even fully remote, but we do have a place in London where we can convene, because getting together is one of the things that we love the most. Well, we are only human. No startup business is perfect from day one, but what an adventure it's been. I recognize again that I've been exceptionally fortunate to have been able to start from scratch and talk. Perry and Prem talked about being creative, being visionary, trying things out, failing from time to time, but I have the opportunity and the team have an opportunity to try something else. So it's been wonderful to be part of a leadership team that trusts each other, that has each other's backs if things don't quite go to plan first time. Because we were formed over lockdown by hugely ambitious leaders who some of us had worked together before, we knew that we wanted to do things differently. We've got seats in Gartner, and they've been incredibly supportive of PACE, and they have, from the beginning, absolutely recognized that the consulting industry is broken. Projects do fail. Customers do want something traditional, something different from the traditional law firms. Our remote team work on customer sites, again, for a varied number of days per week, and that in itself, day to day, can be a little bit of a challenge. When you've got remote teams of consultants, it's sometimes difficult to keep them engaged in the PACE culture. There's always a temptation for someone to adopt and engage with the customer culture rather than their employer's culture, and we work hard to make sure that that temptation isn't there. We initially grew through our networks, often relying on that little black book, as I'm sure you're all familiar with. But we recognize that we weren't particularly diverse from the outset, and we were probably recruiting to some element of unconscious bias too. We had no sales team, we had a poor website, we had no careers page, and for those who've worked in a startup or scale-up before, I tracked annual leave and sick leave on an Excel spreadsheet, which I'm very capable of breaking very easily. We didn't have an HR information system, let alone an ATS. We now use HiBob. It's been a huge opportunity to be able to innovate, take risks within a supportive environment. No startup business is perfect from day one, but what an adventure it's been. Again, I recognize that I've been very fortunate. The image on the screen before was free falling, leaving everything to chance. The image here is very different. You can see a talented artist able to move very freely, utilizing a skill set that's been honed over years of practice, extensive training, supported by a team of choreographers and stage crew, allowing them to perform at their optimal best. And we believe that our strapline, Harnessing Human Autonomy, describes the work that our brilliant consultants do to improve the way that systems and people work together, using a pragmatic and human approach to process design. The outcome of the work is performance and prosperity, agile and motivated workforces, and we're responsible for enabling the creation of high-performing organizations. And so, to my point before, it's really important to ensure that our internal environment enables our customer-facing consultants to be able to thrive internally at PACE. And that's where my team come in. So over the last 3.5 years, we've worked incredibly hard to make sure that the people team is absolutely at the heart of the consulting community at PACE. And we've ensured that our people vision and our contributions align to the overall company strategy and vision. So in the early days, we worked to a behaviour charter that the CEO had written when he'd formed PACE. It was great to have something to talk to throughout the recruitment and onboarding process, but we needed something more. And so we co-created our company values. It probably won't surprise you that we took a people-first approach to this. We followed a structured process which included setting a clear strategic direction, co-creating our values through extensive employee engagement and focus workshops to really understand what it meant to work for PACE as a PACE setter. We created PACE Setter Culture Handbook, which we called Pushing Boundaries, and we really tried to embed our values in daily operations. So from recruitment, onboarding, performance appraisals, the delivery of feedback, competency discussions, all the way through to offboarding. And then we went on to embed a robust communication and reinforcement mechanism. To date, our approach has been very effective, but we continually look to make improvements. It's not a tick box exercise. It's never done, but there are signs that it's working. So we've experienced fast company growth. We've an exceptional talent acquisition process, or fabulous talent acquisition specialist is in the room. We get outstanding feedback every single time. And we've had some incredible business wins. So we've gone from one customer at the beginning of our journey through to 19 now. We've made huge inroads in the area of diversity and inclusivity, and we've created numerous forums and communities internally. We're incredibly proud of our most recent NPS score for our employees, which is 77%, and our retention rate is currently 97%. And we credit a 44% year-on-year revenue growth to the unique culture that we've created, the great people that we've hired, and we absolutely believe that our people-centric approach is really helping us to disrupt the business consulting industry. And of course, it's really important to commit to that ongoing measurement. We always want to understand how effective our culture is at engaging and empowering, attracting, and also retaining our consultants. And we want to know the extent to which our culture really helps us to win and retain customers. And the beauty of working in a scale-up environment is that when things have needed to change, we've been able to do so collaboratively, and we've been able to do so quickly. I thought it would be useful to bring harnessing human autonomy to life internally by showing you our people contribution. So you can read the people vision statement on the screen. Sitting at the heart of the business as a people team, our focus is to create that optimal fish tank, a place where our unique and brilliant consultants thrive so that they can deliver the best outcomes for our consultants. Our contributions are focused on, number one, driving a really proactive approach to the 6 C's that you can see there. It's our mission to encourage pace setters to have a common sense of purpose. We encourage open and honest feedback. We have fun together, and we thrive on the team being in the same place at the same time, sharing experiences that they may not have had the opportunity to do in the past, making memories that ultimately build the pace story. We're committed to rewarding success and to sharing news. Number 2, as I've said, we own everything people. And number 3, 90% of our team are consultants, but we are all customer facing, including the people team. So we really enjoy advising and networking with our customers, whether that be advising on Hi Bob as an HRIS, for example. We're currently building customer knowledge to better understand the challenges, the opportunities, the customer culture that our consultants work within. And we're really trying to work with a business partnership model, supporting customer inductions, knowledge sharing, identifying opportunities, building relationships, and also, of course, networking. So what does the people contribution mean in practical terms? I think day to day that we do these 3 things particularly well: process, recruitment, onboarding, and resourcing, and employee engagement. So with regards to process, this is at the heart of everything we do. I mean, we focus on process automation and process optimization. And we're very fortunate to have a team of process consultants who deliver outstanding work for our customers, but they're always on hand to support internally too. So whether that be working through an HR process ahead of them selecting an HRIS, or mapping out a process for a 2P transfer, something that we've just done very well and very successfully, through to an organization optimizing their internal business operations. With regards to recruitment, onboarding, and resourcing, we do have exceptionally high standards, and we make no apologies for that. We've always worked to a values-based interview process. This has been incidentally recently enhanced by working with a team of corporate psychologists who've helped us to understand what makes a brilliant pace setter and their DNA. So as a new employee, with regards to onboarding, you can expect a very thorough induction program, not one that Perry spoke about where people run for the hills. We have week 1 meetings with the leadership team and the colleagues that are relevant, and our CEO meets with every single new starter in their first week. We have week 1 and month 1 check-ins with the people team, and we've got a newly introduced quarterly people, culture and connection program, which really gives our new starters an opportunity to spend a day outside of the work environment and really get to understand what different people, different new starters are contributing within the world of PACE. As a consultancy, it's also important that we resource our team effectively, and we use Monday.com. I am no expert, but we use Monday.com to track available resources and customer work, as well as available opportunities to support internal work whilst on the bench. Now, for those who've worked in a management consultancy environment, you'll know that word bench. We actually decided to rename it. We thought it was very stagnant, very staid. We wanted something to demonstrate that it is an incredibly meaningful, positive, and valuable place to be. So we renamed it the Grow Zone. Because when our consultants are between assignments, they've got an opportunity to support the development of the business internally. So whether that's owning our B Corp application, or organising our team events, or supporting the development of our central PMO, to your point about keeping information very centrally, they really do make a difference. They also get the opportunity to develop their own skill set, try something new, do something they've never done before, or even do some personal study. And to the third point, employee engagement. Hands up who's rolled out a competency framework. Hard, right? Quite possibly the most difficult thing we've ever done. But we recently rolled out our mastery framework, which is our competency framework. It facilitates our career paths, performance appraisals, provision of feedback. But most importantly, it creates an environment where consultants at the same level of their career have a forum and a network in which to lean in on. At the beginning, we might have hired a functional role that was a project manager, a project coordinator. Now everybody's consultant, so we can see who's at the same level. PACE continuous conversations. This is our regular feedback framework. And as, again, if you know consultancies, you're working on a customer site, but you're also working for PACE. It's really important that timely feedback is given in an effective and often real-time manner. And when it's not, then problems can occur. We have a weekly PACE Setter all hands call, which is a weekly Friday morning call that's hosted on a rotation basis. So everybody gets the opportunity to host it and also to practice their presentation skills in a very safe environment. It's a place for news, updates, new starter introductions, team insight and education. We commit to regular events, more on that in a second. And we, as I said, we've built a lot of community or a lot of PACE places. So we've got our PACE Yourself community, which is our wellbeing and our health forum. We've got PACE Embrace, which is our D&I forum. And PACE Reinforce actually supports our commitment to the Armed Forces community. So as Silver Award holders, we're made up of 7 veterans, 3 reservists, and 2 veteran spouses, of which I am one. ESG and CSR have also been mentioned previously. We all recognise that we're fortunate, more fortunate than so many other people, and so we are committed to making a contribution to the world outside of PACE. And we're fundraisers, we support and partner with a number of charities. We offer 1 paid volunteer day per year, and we also do some pro bono work too. Because we're all remote, and back to Prem's point earlier about having information in the same place or easy to find, we've created our internal comms channel. So let me show you what that looks like. Sorry. So if I just click back 1. When you've got great people in the business, it's very useful to be able to utilize their skills for internal purposes, as I've said. It's one of the best things about PACE. Our team are so bought in to supporting our mission to do things differently, and they're always keen to help out. Everyone cares and wants to be part of our growth, And of course, they're personally bought in by being a shareholder through our enterprise management incentive scheme. The image you can see on the screen is a piece of work that's been done by one of our associate consultants who's got a process and a project management background. He's really driven by making improvements and making life, working life simple for all of us, and he's absolutely owned it. The comm site is built on SharePoint and has a SCORE or Liberty Spark process that sits behind it. It's been developed over the last couple of months and is really leaning into our people vision of encouraging connection, collaboration, and community. The other benefit is that anybody can click into the People Hub, see the processes section. It's not just the people processes that can be seen, but it's business processes too. So every part of our business actually has a process that can be visible to any of our organizations. And sticking with technology briefly, we do use SCORE. We're in a Microsoft environment, so we use Teams, and we encourage collaboration by having a camera on culture whenever possible. And I've mentioned HiBob, and also our new ATS is HiBob's talent acquisition ATS system. So, in summary, I believe that getting the best performance out of your remote workforce through employee engagement in a customer-focused scale-up environment is all about co-creating your culture. Don't just tell people what it is and how it's supposed to make them feel. We spend so long at work, we know that everybody should be bought in, and it's really powerful when somebody, where everybody wants to contribute and actively engages. Remember to ask for feedback, encourage openness, and listen when feedback is given. We've all worked in businesses where the people at the top say that it's one thing, but the actual reality on the ground is very, very different. Hire the best people in the first place. Really talk to your values and your EVP at every stage of the recruitment process, and really understand what it makes to make, in our pace, a great pace setter. Once they're on board, give them ownership and accountability from day one. Give them a community in which to thrive, experiences that they haven't had the opportunity to do before. It doesn't have to cost a lot, it doesn't have to be warm, and it certainly doesn't have to be sunny, or what it does do is actually create memorable memories for people who love being together. Encourage that connection, commit to bringing teams together as often as possible, create those forums. And something I haven't necessarily called out, but I've done a lot before throughout my career, really celebrate success, call out achievements, acknowledge when things don't go brilliantly, but don't be afraid to provide feedback when they don't. And likewise, don't be afraid of mistakes. We've made a few in the past, thankfully not big ones, but we've learned something from every single one, because our continuous improvement mindset gives us the continuous confidence to give things a try as a team, because we trust each other. We trust each other to know, we trust each other to dance at Pineapple Studios, to swim together in a river in October, in the rain in October. And we trust each other to build a business that we'll all benefit from, because through our EMI scheme, we're all shareholders in a business that we want to succeed. And if someone's not bought in, that's okay too. We absolutely are self-aware enough to know that pace won't be for everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.